In the Burn Journals by Brent Runyon, Brent relives the story of a life-changing event that happened to him when he was only 14 years old. At that time, he felt unwanted in life and he had made many mistakes in school, so he decided to do something that he felt would make his parents' lives easier. He went into the bathroom, poured gasoline on himself, and set himself on fire. He suffered burns on 85% of his body. This set him up for a very long road to recovery, which he did not enjoy. He switched hospitals multiple times, met with many psychologists, and he hated them all. His family watched him very closely in the hospital and helped him with whatever he needed. He often did not appreciate it, though. Little did he realize they were just trying to help. Although I can understand why he did not feel the need to talk to anyone about the situation, they were egging him on about why he did it, what happened, and growing up, I was always fairly independent also. I liked the idea of doing my own thing and did not feel like I needed help from anyone, even if it meant driving a snowmobile by myself. But in my younger life, I had no worries. Life was all fun, no work. It wasn't until I grew up that I started to struggle. Then, the idea of telling people about my problems didn't seem like something that would benefit me. It wasn't until I realized that I could not do everything alone that I began to open up to more people, and at that time, my life became so much more enjoyable. As a result of opening up to people, we both learned that people weren't always asking you about your problems to judge you, but they just wanted to help however they could, even if it seemed impossible to believe at the time. A majority of those that helped happened to be our families. Throughout that hard time in his life, his family always supported him. Whether it was visiting him in the hospital daily, taking him out of the hospital to go get ice cream, or even throwing him a surprise birthday party, they were always there for him. Growing up in a close family, I completely relate to his situations. No matter what mood I'm in, my family can always put me in a good mood. From our many vacations to Disney World, when I was 3 being my favorite of course, they have not only showed me how to have fun, but I've also learned a lot from their actions. It took us both some time to realize, because when you're younger, sometimes you don't want to be with your family all the time. But as time goes on and you grow up, you realize that they have your back, especially in your hardest times. Then again, there are good times. I can comfortably make a fool out of myself with them. I mean, who else is going to dress up as gender-bending construction workers with me at a golf tournament? And though my mom always annoys me, I now know that she does it out of love. Now, we all know that when a situation happens and changes your life for the worse, there may be a sense of regret. Immediately after Brent set himself on fire, he screamed, wondering why he had done it. He couldn't explain to anybody why he had done it. He felt that he had made his family go through so much unnecessary pain, and it made him feel terrible, wishing he could go back and stop himself from doing it. He hates the way people stare at him with his discolored skin, but he had to live with that for his whole life. Although nothing that severe ever happened to me, I still understand the idea of wishing I could change the past. Being raised in a family that is very overprotective, they always made sure I would be safe, whether it was always wearing a helmet or putting on sunscreen, sometimes a little more than I needed. I was raised by the saying that it's better to be safe than sorry. This saying applied to me more than ever when I had started to be able to drive. I knew that nothing was that important where I couldn't be extra careful and take my time when I was getting from place to place. However, sometimes things don't always turn out how you want them to. This past summer, I was in a car crash. I always saw pictures of car crashes, but I would have never guessed that it was going to be my pictures that I would be looking at next. With that being said, there's no way that I can take any of that back. We have both learned that dwelling on the past will not set you up for a good future. Whether it's following up with psychologists in his case or building up the courage to drive again in mine, we both knew that we had to in order to better ourselves. All in all, we can now say that life isn't perfect. It will throw unexpected events your way, but you will get through them by asking for help when you need it, keeping your loved ones close, and remembering that the past cannot be altered no matter how much you wish it could be.